President Trump, well, he really has not been shy about criticizing the Federal Reserve. But our next guest says, hey, that's okay. It's encouraging. Joining us now is Spencer Jakab, Wall Street Journal kind of guy. Most people who look at this say, the President of the United States should not be messing around with the independence of the Fed. But you say it's okay. Make your case.
Here's the thing you have to understand about the Fed is that its independence is very, very hard, or its reputation rather, is very hard to earn and very easy to lose. Paul Volcker sent the U.S. into double-dip recessions in the early 1980s, winning back the credibility of the Fed. Yep. Now, the fact that President Trump is criticizing the Fed is not going to help him. As a matter of fact, when it comes down to sort of a split decision where the Fed has to, it's not sure whether or not to raise by a quarter point or not, this might push it over the edge in terms of tightening more, which is not good for the person sitting in the White House at the moment, Republican or Democrat, because the Fed doesn't like to be pushed around. The Fed needs to assert that independence. But the fact that a president, and this is not the first time, it's been being done in a Trumpian style, okay? But
which is
unique. It's not that unique, okay? But this is not the first time that someone in the White House or the Congress have tried to, assert their will with the Fed. But it sends a message to the world, and this is the world's central bank after all, that the Fed is independent and that it's going to act in the way that it acts, and it's going to act in the long-term interest of the U.S. economy, and that it has a dual mandate, not just growth and unemployment, but also keeping inflation in check.
But that only works if the Fed stands firm and does what it's going to do anyway, that it does not bow to any pressure from the president. How will we know that?
There's no way to actually know it. I mean, if the Fed were to, for example, the expectations now are that in the next year it's going to raise rates 4 times by a quarter point. Of course, that could change because the economic landscape could change. There could be a crisis, there could be a downturn, there could be a stock market crash or anything, and then it will act. And it's very difficult, in real time to say if the Fed is doing the right thing. Even in 10 years, economists will be writing papers saying, did the Fed do the right thing in 2018? We really can't know. But what we do know is that the Fed is fiercely independent, and that it's not going to act because of the president's words. And the fact that the president's words are out there, and the fact that it's going to probably raise rates in December, and it's probably going to raise rates according to economists' forecast 3 to 4 times next year, if all goes well, is a message to the world that the Fed is a completely independent institution, and that's because criticism actually, I think, helps it in a way. It reminds people of that.
Spencer, this is the only 3-minute interview on the Federal Reserve that we've ever had on this program, since you were last on it a couple of years ago. Congratulations, young man. That was great. Thanks, Spencer. Thank you very much.